Action, says producer 1. Producer 2 cannot say action because he is, God bless his beautiful, adorable little heart, he's asleep. So I'm going to keep my volume a little bit lower at the Bayview Studios. Producer 2's studio, his office, is right over there. He's in the back room just resting from a long morning of Olympic beach volleyball. So for context, I am recording this in the middle of Anna Patricia and Duda's match against Japan's Akiko Hasegawa and Miki Ishii. So I'm going to be operating under the assumption, fair or not, that Anna Patricia and Duda will win, and then there is still the 1 o'clock Pacific match, the nightcap in Paris of Sharif and Ahmed against the Grimalt cousins, the winner of whom will play Andy Benesh and Miles Partain. Now, why am I not waiting? Because right after this, I'm running over to the actual studio to record an indoor update with Matt Prosser. The USA indoor men are playing right now, and so then when I come back, then I take over some daddy duties. So I'm just doing this a little bit early, so I can have some family time at night. So pardon not having all the information available. But I just want to start out. So I'm just going to run through what's happened today in the beach volleyball action. So all the 9th place rounds by the end of this day will be over, and we are into our quarterfinals. So our quarterfinals at the moment look like this. We have Germans Nils Ehlers and Clemens Wickler. They will be playing Stefan Bormans and Jörg de Groot August 6th. Avandro and Arthur playing against the Swedes. That should be, all these matches are going to be awesome. They play David Amon, Jonathan Helvig, Maria Fayer-Tacho, Talika Clancy, the Russell Wilson of beach volleyball. Found their form again against Barbara and Carol. They play Zoe Verger-Depré and Esme Bobner of Switzerland. I'm going to try to mention the country names with the players' names. Someone give me feedback on YouTube. I think that's a good feedback. So Maria Faye and Talika, Australia, Switzerland, Esme Bobner, Zoe Verger-Depré, the darlings of the Olympic qualification process. And then you have Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes. They will be in the nightcap match on August 6th against Switzerland's Nina Brunner and Tania Huberli, what I think is the best quarterfinal match, men's or women's, of the whole draw. The next day, August 7th, Andy Benesh, Miles Partain, they'll be playing the winner of Qatar and Chile. The Grimalt cousins are Chile. Qatar is Sharif and Ahmed. Spain's ageless wonders, Pablo Herrera and Adrian Gavira. Well done. Play Anders Mullen, Christian Sorum. Tina Gradina, Anastasia Samoilova, very likely to play Duda and Anna Patricia, who are currently up 7-4 in the second set over Japan after winning the first. Highly expect to see that matchup. Then you have the young Spaniards who still have a year of eligibility at TCU, Tania Moreno and Daniela Alvarez. They play Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandie Wilkerson. And I'll just get straight into Mel and Brandy, actually. So Mel and Brandy, they go 1-2 in pool play, get into the lucky loser. They play Bar Hermanova and Marie Sarastokova. They look very much regained to the form that got them to these Olympic Games. They had a complete overhaul, as they talked about on our podcast at the beginning of the year, of their defensive system. And my goodness, did it take at the right time against Kristen, Nuss, and Taryn, Kloth. Brutal first-round matchup. It's a matchup that I would have hoped to have seen in the semis or for a medal. Just talked to Mel, and she said that we wish that would have come later in the tournament, too. Instead, it's for 9th. Not going to get into the pool play double elim. Y'all know how I feel about it. Instead, we got treated to an excellent 9th-place match, and Mel and Brandy came out to play. So just for context, this 9th-place match was a rematch of the Chicago AVP Finals, which went 3, and of the Huntington Beach AVP Finals, which went 3. So the last 2 AVPs, the finals, were our 9th-place match, and they played 4 times. They played 12 total times coming into this. Kristen and Taryn held an 8-4 lead. On the Beach Pro Tour, they had played 4 times, and in those 4 matches, Brandie only had 8 total blocks, which for her, the 2023 Blocker of the Year, she won that by a landslide. The next closest runner-up, Anna Patricia Silva, was 12% less in terms of the votes of Brandie. So she was very heavy favorite for 2023 Blocker of the Year, won that. Congrats to her. And she has struggled a little bit against Kristen and Taryn, just hasn't really found her blocking mojo, and then she found it. Down 9-14 in the first set, it was Brandie block, Brandie block, Brandie block, and I think that changed the whole tenor of the match. They went on a 6-0 run, took a 15-14 lead, wouldn't relinquish it, won that set 21-19, and then it was Brandie and Mel again, and Mel did such a masterful job on defense, and she just sat seam and held and held and held, and at the very last second, she broke. And that's what they talked about in the podcast earlier this year, that they overhauled their entire defensive system. And it was a lot of reading. It's a lot of trust from Mel to Brandie at the net saying, hey, if you see something, take it. It's a lot of trust from Brandie to Mel in the backcourt saying, if you see something, go take it. So Mel was reading, Brandie was reading. and she just made all the right plays at all the right times. Brandie was spectacular, and it was such a problem. Brandie finished with 5 blocks. She only had 8 in the first 4 matches total coming in. And it was just Kristen and Taryn. It was a heroic comeback in the second set. They were down 17-13, tied it at 18s, and then Kristen has a perfect dig. Set drifts a little bit tight. Brandie, throw down block. Next set, a little bit tight. Brandie gets it again. Next set, a little bit tight. Kristen makes a spectacular cover, somehow gets it up, and then Brandie puts it away 21-18. After the match, Kristen and Taryn both used the word heartbroken. I'm heartbroken for them as much as I am stoked for Mel and Brandy. Good friends of ours, good friends of pretty much all the American fans. We see them, we love them on the AVP. It's a bummer that this match happened early, but now Mel and Brandy, they are back into the quarterfinals. They will be playing Spain's Tania Moreno and Daniela Alvarez. Now, Mel and Brandy both finished 5th in the Tokyo Olympic Games. Heather Bansley and Brandie, they took a 5th, and Mel took a 5th with Sarah Pavin. So they're both looking to get into the medal rounds. And as far as draws go, you can't ask for a whole lot more than getting Daniela and Tania. Now, Daniela and Tania, credit must be given to them. They go 2-1 in pool play, 2 sweeps, one over Laura Ludwig and Louisa Littman, one over Frances Lezana Placette and Alexia Richard, and then they come into the playoffs. Their 9th place round is against Katja Stam and Raisa Scone, a team they were 0-4 against in their career, had played some close matches, but Katja and Raisa clearly the favorites, and Bet Online had them as huge favorites. Daniela and Tania coming with plus 400 odds. Those are big odds, by the way. So if you bet on Daniela and Tania, good for you. It's a big payout. Well, they come out and win, come back from an 18-21 first set loss to win 21-19, 15-13, and they still have a year of eligibility at TCU. So that's how good and how young these 22-year-olds are, that they are going to be bright stars on the Beach Pro Tour, regardless of what happens in that quarterfinal match with Mel and Brandy. Now, while we're on the topic of Spain, we might as well celebrate Monday. What's today? August 5th? August 5th, says producer 1. Today's Spain Day, because the second match of the day, Pablo Herrera in his 6th Olympic Games and Adrian Gavira in his 4th Olympic Games, they upset Poland's Michał Bryl and Bartosz Wojciak 23-21, 21-18. Into the quarterfinals they go. This is the furthest Herrera's made it in the Olympic Games since he won that silver medal in Athens. This is the furthest Gavira has ever made it in his career. They're playing tremendous, just one of the best side-out teams in the whole sport for legitimately decades. Daniela and Tania were 2 years old when Herrera won his silver medal. David Amon, Jonathan Helvig were 2 years old when Herrera won his silver medal, and now they were all in the same Olympic Games. They were all in the same round of the Olympic Games. Just unbelievable longevity from Spain. They play Anders and Kristen, which, you know, if you've been following the show, we don't bet against Norway. And I woke up early to watch Anders and Kristen against Chase and Miles. They played at 5 a.m. this morning, Pacific time, and they won 21-16, 21-14. A huge congratulations to Chase Budinger and Miles Evans. Again, a reminder for those who haven't been following the show, we did a poll at the beginning of the qualifying process, putting out just a poll what teams they thought would qualify for the Olympic Games. Chase and Miles got 1% of the vote. And so they came out, surprised everyone when they qualified, broke pool, won a very good lucky loser match to get into the round of 16. You play Norway, there's no shame in going out to the GOATs. So congrats to Chase and Miles. That is the 3rd 9th place finish of the last 4 American teams in Tokyo. Phil and Nick took 9th in Tokyo. Jake Gibb and Triborn also took 9th in Tokyo, which leads us to our next story. My boys, Andy Benish and Miles Partain, my goodness, they are a team reborn. And I'm just going to give you some stats to explain the shift in their style of play from the first 2 matches of the Olympics into the latter 2. So the first 2 matches, they get swept by Cuba, squeak it out against Morocco in kind of a weird match where they optioned only 16% of their offensive attacks. All these stats are kudos of Beach Data. They're phenomenal. They only jump set 8%. Go to the next 2 matches, a 3-set win over George and Andre, and a convincing 21-17, 21-18 sweep over Paolo Nicolai and Sam Codafava of Italy. Just the second win they've had over Italy. They sided out 91%, and how they do it, they jump set 50% of the balls inside out, and they optioned 57%. That is almost a quadruple. It's more than 3x increase in options and more than a 4x increase in jump sets. And so there, and Andy said it, we're living by the sword, we're dying by the sword. And if we're going to go down burning, then that's fine with us. But this is what we're doing. And Miles says, this is bigger than the Olympics. We want to play how we want to play. And they're playing how they want to play. And again, I have no idea what happened with their coach, Mike Playcheck. I don't know the deal over there, but it's just a different team. Whatever happened, Andy and Miles are back to the Andy and Miles that won back-to-back-to-back Elite 16 medals in the summer of 2023. And in the 2023 season, so they optioned 24% of their side-out attacks. They're now over 50%. In 2024, that dropped to 13%. So I don't know what the shift in style of play, where that came from, but they're back and they are just full send on the options and jump sets, and they will play again the winner of Sharif and Ahmed of Qatar and the Grimalt cousins, which again, there's no easy draws in the quarterfinals. I think given the teams that are left remaining, that's probably as good as you're going to get if you're Andy and Miles. And for an update, Anna Patricia and Duda are up 17-10 in the second. So barring a miracle for Japan, it will be Anna Patricia and Duda versus Tina and Anastasia in the quarterfinals. And the next story, the last story, will actually go to Tina and Anastasia. So Latvia, they just show up at the Olympic Games. They are just always in contention at these Olympics. It started with Alexander Samoilovs and Martins Plavins in Beijing, still having the greatest upset in Olympic beach volleyball history. They beat Phil Dahlhauser and Todd Rogers. Of course, that ends up working out for Phil and Todd, just the way that the bracket ended up working out of pool play that they go on to win a gold medal. But then it was Plavins and Smedens who stunned Jake Gibb and Sean Rosenthal in the quarterfinals of London. They're just always hanging around. Edgar's Tox, Martins Plavins, they take a fourth in Tokyo. Tina Anastasia, they take a fourth in Tokyo after coming in as, I believe, the 25 seed. You can fact check me on that. But here they are again with a 21-13, 17-21, 18-16 win over Sinja Tillman and Svenja Mueller. Now they will play Anna Patricia and Duda, a team that they have played, gosh, I forget the exact number, but it's around 20 times. And they only had 2 wins over Anna Patricia and Duda, and then they beat them twice in the Ostrava Elite 16. So they're coming on back-to-back wins over Anna Patricia and Duda. Now, granted, AP and Duda have not dropped a single set. Just 2 teams in the field left haven't done that. The other being Nina Brunner and Tanya Huberly. That quarterfinal with them and Chang and Hughes is must-watch television. Get your popcorn ready. Appointment viewing on Peacock. So that is your quarterfinal preview for the men's and the women's. I'm going to pull up the bracket just to make sure I'm not missing anything here. So we have Benish Partain versus likely Qatar. I won't do an analysis of that one, but I'll take Benish and Partain over whoever comes out of that one. Call me biased. I am. I'm wearing my USA Volleyball tank top. Such is life. Evandro and Arthur have not dropped a set. They are playing David Amon and Jonathan Helvig. Must-watch TV because one of the few people who can help neutralize Sweden is Evandro's serve, and it has been cooking. They have been blasting people. Nils Ehlers, Clemens Vickler against Stefan Bormans, Jörg de Groot. I'm going to take Bormans and de Groot in that one. I just love de Groot's game. I love Bormans' game, and I think that they have traditionally played better on big stages. That said, Germany has made more semifinals than anyone this year, so it's hard to bet against them, but slight favorite to Bormans and de Groot. Then you got the Spaniards, the 18 seeds. Love to see them still in the tournament. Huge congratulations to them. Pablo Herrera, Adrian Gavira up against Norway's Anders Mol, Christian Sorm. You all know the rules. We don't bet against Norway, favoring Norway. On the women's side, the match-by-match breakdown. Gradina Samoilova, Anna Patricia Duda. It's hard to bet against Anna Patricia Duda. It's hard to get bet against Latvia in the Olympics. I'm going to give the slight favorite to AP and Duda in that one, who are now up 19-13 over Japan. Maria Fay Artacho, Talika Clancy, the Russell Wilsons of beach volleyball, up against Zoe Vergé-Depre and Esme Bobner. That is a tough pick. It is a 14-16 quarterfinal. You don't see that one very often. I'm going to go with Zoe and Esme. Going with the youngsters. The underdog is just going to keep on underdogging. Zoe Vergé-Depre and Esme Bobner got them going into the semifinals. Chang and Hughes over Brunner Huberly. Man, I mean, I wish this was for a medal, same as I wish TKN versus Mel and Brandy was for a medal. American bias shining through again, going with Kelly and Sarah. Kelly was coming in to their 9th place round against Valentina Gottardi and Marta Menegatti, siding out at 81%. That is crazy. Now, she dipped a little bit against the Italians, struggled. They held on to win. Was a thriller, a white knuckler. American fans were holding their breath, but I'm going with Chang and Hughes over Brunner Huberly. Then you got Alvarez, Moreno against Mel and Brandy. Going Mel and Brandy. Great job by the TCU kids. They'll be back, the favorites to win a national championship come NCAA season for sure. So that'll do it for our quarterfinal preview. Tomorrow, you will have a very early men's indoor preview. Our men's indoor team is playing right now, so I'll be doing that with Matt Prosser. And then once the quarterfinals are done, we will be previewing the beach medal matches and semis, and we'll just keep on cranking out the content. So appreciate you guys hanging out. It's been a blast covering the Olympics. Been a blast just engaging with all y'all in the comment section and on Twitter and whatever. And we're getting shirts made. Give me double a limb or give me death. All right, Adam Schultz, coach of Sarah Pavin, he's going to cook those up for us. So I hope we can sell 1 million, and by LA 2028, double a limb. Thanks again, and shoots.